Hey guys, Wes Rice here from Rice Clarinet Works. We had one of our VIPs stop by the shop recently. This is Kristen Spiridon, Dr. Kristen Spiridon. So Kristen, why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Well, thanks, Wes, and thanks for having me today. So, other than being a Rice Clarinet Works artist, I'm the professor of clarinet at Georgia Southern University and principal clarinetist of the Savannah Philharmonic. Wes and I have actually been friends for 20 years, 20 plus years at this point. We went to Peabody together. And when Wes was first starting his business, I was starting to see how talented he was. And from the very beginning, I think his products have been absolutely phenomenal. So I would love to talk today a little bit about kind of the way I revamped my whole clarinet wardrobe this year and kind of highlight the things that he has to offer everybody.
Yeah, so why don't you tell them what you play on currently?
Okay, so I just switched now to B flat and A Mopane buffet festivals. And just the other day, I was up here picking them up from being overhauled, and they're amazing. And I just purchased a Cocobolo B flat barrel and a wood A clarinet barrel to match them, and they sound wonderful.
Nice. So what did you like about the barrels, like the stock barrel versus the Rice Clarinet Works barrels?
Now, the stock barrels actually were very good for the Mopane B flat and A, but they were a little bit present. And kind of to hone in the sound a little bit, I thought that the Cocobolo barrel evened things out and made it just flow and have that center core. And for the A clarinet, it just kind of helped it have that deep richness that the orchestra kind of desires.
Mm-hmm.
So I think as a professional, it's a big difference, but it's one of those things that, will resonate through the hall, and it's important that your clarinet has those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, as a listener, what I was hearing was like we were able to match the clarinets a lot better, which is one thing that I really like to do between B flat and A. We kind of tamed down the B flat a little bit because it was a little on the bright side, at least for me.
Sure.
At least in this room. It's hard to say in a hall, of course, but so we tamed down the B flat a little bit, and then the A, it actually did, like you mentioned, it sounded really good with the stock barrel, but this kind of reined it in a little bit more, gave it a little more resonance, and I felt like some of the barrels that you picked were a little bit too, they had too much core to the sound.
Right.
So this one, it really has a nice core, but it kind of expanded it a little bit, again, to match with the B flat. So
Exactly, and it's amazing what a barrel can do to completely revamp your sound and help you find that sweet spot of clarinet playing.
yeah. Why don't you tell them about why you chose the Mopane, or Mopani, as you say, the Mopane festivals versus the regular festivals?
I was looking to get new clarinets, and one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is when their clarinets are blown out. Back in 2008 and 2009, I bought two beautiful Toscas, and for 17 years, I just thought they were the bee's knees. I thought they were absolutely wonderful, but when you're playing in an orchestra, if you start to notice that your pitch is going higher and higher and higher, that's a key symbol that your clarinets are blown out. So I was looking for more of a richness and something that could still project at the same time. They had to have those equal balance. And the Mopane festivals just won, hands down. They had both of those, and it's amazing playing the Toscas that were blown out with these beautiful festival Mopane clarinets side by side, the richness and the just grace that they present. So I'm so proud to play them, and I'm so glad you picked them.
Yeah, oh yeah, they sound really good. I mean, when I compare like a regular festival to a Mopane or Mopani festival, it's just a normal festival can be a little more on the brilliant side,
Right.
which can be great for some people in some playing situations, some barrels as well. But these Mopane festivals, they took a little bit of the brilliance out, but as you mentioned, they added like a richness to it as well.
Absolutely, and that's kind of why I've avoided festivals in the past and went with the Toscas, but I think this offered the perfect balance, so I'm so happy with them.
Yeah, they sound incredible. we actually went to a couple of trade shows, and everyone really liked this festival A in particular. Surprisingly, no one bought it. I mean, luckily, no one bought it.
I'm thrilled.
Yeah, because it's very, very good.
It's a win.
Yeah, so let's talk about the bass clarinet that you bought
Okay.
recently. So the Rogue Global Max bass, right?
And as a buffet artist, I normally just play buffet products, but when you're a principal clarinet in an orchestra, the amount of time that you have to use a bass clarinet is minimal. And I'd say I probably play bass once every 2 to 3 years. So I didn't want a beautiful bass just kind of hanging out in my closet. But,
like a Tosca or a Prestige
right,
or something.
Exactly. So this Royal Global bass sounded wonderful. And I wouldn't have even known the difference. The composite material, the projection, the center core is just absolutely wonderful. So when I do need it for the occasional Pops concert, it's going to be right there ready to go. And the sound is brilliant. It really has that nice, hefty sound that you need, especially in those really aggressive bass lines, but it also has the smoothness that you would need for the pieces that require it.
Yeah, for sure. They're great instruments. They're, I mean, sub $5,000. I mean, obviously the price may go up over time, but you know, this is 2025. The price is sub $5,000. You can't beat it. And I don't even recommend anything close to that. You know, you've got some of the basses that are a little cheaper than that, but they're just so far inferior to the Max that it's just like, don't even bother. But the Max is amazing. I mean, it's got the eco material, which is kind of like a granadilla composite, so you don't really have to worry about humidity and things like that. You could play it outside and in a Pops concert if you wanted to. You also, as you mentioned, you're not playing it that often, and so you don't really have to worry about, well, did the wood shift when I wasn't playing it? So
that's a big thing.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, and maybe some of you who might be interested in it, you would play it a lot more often than that, hopefully. But it is just a nice thing, you know, if you take a break, maybe the summer break, it's, you don't have to worry about it nearly as much. And, you know, of course, we spend a lot of time setting them up. No matter what instrument we have here, whatever we offer, it always gets a setup, always has a warranty, everything like that. So, and you actually had, I would say, sort of a little warranty thing, you know, with the tenon corks.
Oh yeah, I mean, having arm issues, sometimes things can be a little bit hard to put together. So when I came to pick up my B flat and A from being overhauled, Wes was able to adjust it. So now I have absolutely no problem doing that. So he's true to his word on that. Wes has also maintained and overhauled my buffet C clarinet, E flat clarinet, and so many different horns in the past. And never have I had a problem with them. Never have I had a problem with them. They hold up so well, but what's really important is that regular maintenance. You wouldn't drive a car without getting the oil changed and tires rotated and making sure that it's in tip-top shape. So the same thing has to be with your clarinets. And because I do that maintenance every year on these horns, they hold up so well. So it's so important. It's like a little appointment to get them, get some TLC goes a really long way.
A lot of people will get an overhaul up front, and that goes a long way to having your instrument last a very long time. And then, you know, as Krista mentioned, you know, having that yearly appointment where she just gets a cleaning, we'll disassemble everything, reassemble it. There's still a fair amount of work in it, but the work is mostly checking things and not actually fixing things and replacing things. So yeah, and thanks for the compliments on, you know, the work that we do here. And I just want to point out, it's not just me doing the work. We have a great team back here. We have 2 other technicians besides me. I, of course, personally play test everything before it goes out. Every single instrument ever, except one, hair floating here, except one in the entire career. So yeah, I just want to point that out, that it's not just me here, and we have an excellent team. So is there anything else that we've done for you, or any products that you have or have tried of ours that you also want to talk about?
I mean, anything that I've tried here, the cool thing is I should say the difference is when you just order online, you don't get that setup and you don't get those hand-picked instruments
from other companies. We still do that. FYI.
Yes. So when Wes gets a selection in, he finds the best products, and then on top of that, he sets them up for you. So I think that's very important, because you never know what you're going to get. It's a little bit like Russian roulette there. So
100%. Yeah, we unfortunately we get calls from people all the time where it's like, oh hey, I bought this instrument from some big box store, you know, let's say, I'm not going to say names, but let's say a store that sells a lot of instruments, but they don't have that hand finished, hand set up touch. And we get contact and they're like, oh, hey, my clarinet doesn't fit together anymore. My long B doesn't play. It's really stuffy, you know, things like that. And it's like, I really wish you would have came to us because, you know, we do charge a tiny bit more than some of those stores, but what you get for that tiny bit more is a whole lot. And we spend anywhere between, let's say, 4 to 12 hours setting up a bass clarinet. And all of our sopranos get at least 4 hours, maybe, you know, 5 or 6 on some of them. So we're spending a lot of time, and unfortunately some of those people who have gone elsewhere, they have a bad experience because the seller is just not doing the work that needs to be done. And these are great instruments we're selling. They're manufactured extremely well, but sometimes they're not set up to their full potential.
Exactly.
And that's what we kind of do, and that's the real difference in coming here, is that you're getting the instruments at, let's say, 90 to 95% of their full potential. And if you want the full potential later on down the road, you get an overhaul at some point. But it's not necessary 100%. But people like Kristen, she just bought these instruments, but she did get them overhauled to really elevate them to 100% playing capacity.
Exactly. And you want the clarinet to work for you. It shouldn't be the other way around. So when you dedicate your life to music and you find that instrument, you want to make sure you have the ease of playing. And I have not once had a bad experience here. So I think that is so important, and that's why I endorse this company so highly. And Mr. Rice gives a day of his year every year to come down to Georgia Southern for our students to have a Rice Clarinet Works Day, and they are able to find their instruments, and I don't think I've had one student regret their purchase. So I'm very thankful for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome every year to see Kristen students and really to help them, because a lot of them come in with, you know, frankly, not great instruments when they first start taking lessons with you, and you're like, hey, if you really want to play your best, you need to upgrade in some capacity. And some people have like a large budget and others have a much smaller budget. And we're able, luckily, to work with them in almost every case to either find the instrument that fits in their budget, or we can do some sort of financing thing, or we can say, oh, hey, you know, grandma pays this much and mom and dad pay this much, and then we finance this much. So luckily we've been able to help practically every one of your students get a better instrument. And therefore, you know, for me, it's not about the instrument. It's like, let's get these kids playing better. Let's get them enjoying their playing more. Let's get them to sound better and do better in their auditions and things like that. So
exactly.
I'm happy to be able to help. And, you know, of course, if anyone wants that same treatment, you know, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to either come visit or send some things to you and give you guys that kind of personalized service to help your students as well. So I guess the last thing you did get a Bassett horn, not a Bassett clarinet, a Bassett horn overhauled by us as well.
Yes.
So just maybe talk about that a little bit.
Sure. Well, I got it from the lovely Lisa Cannon, and I appreciate her so much, but I'm not really a natural low clarinet player, so I thought before we do the Mozart Requiem in Savannah next year, it could use just that little upgrade, and it's effortless now. So I'm so thankful for that, and I look forward to performing it with the Savannah Philharmonic in, I believe, November. I think we're playing it in November. So now I have kind of the full set of everything.
Yeah,
so
pretty sweet.
It's pretty cool. So
yeah, nice. Well, cool. I guess that kind of covers everything. I just, you know, of course, want to thank you for stopping by, for your obviously friendship, and, you know, for your business as well, and for standing behind us and supporting us and everything. So thanks so much. And of course, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll be posting this in a couple of places, maybe YouTube, of course, social media as well. Feel free to comment and ask any questions you might have. And for anyone who's like on the fence or needing something, feel free to reach out. My personal email is wes@clarinetworks.com. All our info, of course, is on our website. We have, of course, here we have a manufacturing and repair facility, but we also have our lovely showroom in Annapolis, Maryland. So that is a beautiful place. It's more centrally located. This is, of course, kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
A little bit.
But if you have anyone, if you guys are, you know, let's say in the mid-Atlantic region or even farther, we've had people fly in, believe it or not. You know, we'd be happy to see you there, but if you can't make it, we'd be happy to help you with sending things out for trial. We do lots of things. Pretty much everything that we have, we can do on trial. Mouthpieces, barrels, bells, clarinets, we can send a selection. So I'm happy to help in any way that you might need help. So, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in. This, of course, is a little long video. If you made it this far, thank you.
Props to you.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right. Catch you later.